Welcome back, everyone, to today's Explainer. We're diving right into a truly terrific teaching tool today. It's a kindergarten lesson plan from Crimson Grove called T is for Thoughtful Thinkers. And you know what's so cool about this curriculum? It totally ditches rote memorization. Instead, it builds a fully immersive environment for young learners. So we're going to unpack exactly how this lesson is structured, step by step, to completely captivate young minds.
Right off the bat, we get the absolute heart of the lesson. Thoughtful thinkers turn ideas into adventures. Now, that isn't just a catchy phrase, it's the core mantra of the entire curriculum. It acts as this perfect hook to set up a dual-track educational narrative. Crimson Grove isn't just trying to teach children a letter, they are beautifully blending foundational phonics with real character building. By treating learning as an actual adventure, it goes from being a passive chore to an exciting, active pursuit. Okay, let's dive into this and trace the exact learning journey a kindergartner takes. First, the thoughtful thinker's theme. Second, meeting the letter T. Third, exploring featured T words. Fourth, sentences, sound, and story. Fifth, putting it into practice. And sixth, growing into great leaders.
Starting with Section 1, the thoughtful thinker's theme, fostering kindness and creativity.
Remember that dual focus we just talked about? Well, here it is in action. On one side, you've got the essential hard skills, focusing on the letter T, the T sound, reading simple sentences, and practicing writing. But look at the theme goal right below it. The lesson explicitly pushes kids to ask questions, tell stories, work together, and discover new ideas. These children aren't just learning a letter in a vacuum. They are being actively empowered to explore and problem solve with kindness. It's a holistic approach that sets up an incredibly powerful foundation.
Moving to Section 2, meeting the letter T, the foundation of the lesson. The lesson introduces the letter T so cleanly and clearly. It defines it as a consonant that makes the T sound, and immediately grounds it with vivid, engaging examples: tiger, turtle, train, and tree. But there's a vital step here. The plan explicitly instructs teachers to say it out loud with the students. T says t, t, t. That kind of auditory repetition is an absolute game changer for cognitive recognition. By defining the letter and immediately shouting out that sound together, it physically wires the visual shape of the letter to the sound it makes in a child's brain.
Section 3. Exploring featured taught words, building vocabulary.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how the vocabulary expands. We've got 20 different words starting with T, but notice how it brilliantly scales in complexity. It kicks off with highly tangible things in nature: tiger, turtle, tree. Then it steps up to everyday objects like a train or a telescope. But then it pushes even further into people and concepts. It introduces teacher and then goes straight into abstract ideas like teamwork and thoughtful. By scaffolding from things you can literally touch all the way up to complex character traits, the lesson effortlessly weaves phonics right into social development.
Next up, Section 4. Sentences, sound, and story. Putting words into context. To turn those isolated words into real reading comprehension, the curriculum uses highly visual sentences. Take a look at this one. The tiger walked quietly through the forest. Instantly, the child isn't just drilling a sound anymore. They are imagining a scene. They're picturing the forest, the stealthy tiger prowling through the trees. It completely transforms a mechanical reading exercise into a narrative experience that keeps them totally engaged.
And it just keeps expanding on that storytelling framework. Let's read through some of these. The turtle carried its shell everywhere. The train traveled through the tunnel. Tommy climbed a tall tree. Notice the heavy intentional repetition of that T sound to reinforce the phonics. But look closely at those last two sentences. Teamwork helped everyone finish the project. And thoughtful thinkers make the world a better place. Boom, right there, seamlessly tucked into a reading drill, are the core character building themes of the curriculum. The lesson is reinforcing the phonetic sound and the moral lesson all at once.
Section 5. Putting it into practice. The exercises.
Let's see how this builds, because it really is a perfect pedagogical progression. It walks the student right up a ladder of increasing difficulty. Step 1, simply circle the letter T, testing basic visual recognition. Step 2, match the word to the picture, connecting text to meaning. Step 3, fill in the missing letter for words like tiger or tent. Now they're actively producing it. Step 4 combines reading comprehension with a fun motor activity, having them read and color simple sentences. And finally, Step 5 moves to pure fine motor skill application, where they write and trace the letter and the featured words. Literally a masterclass in academic scaffolding. And right in the middle of all that hard work, the lesson drops this fantastic piece of encouragement. Think, try, and triumph every day. Just imagine hearing that and the wildly supportive tone of a phenomenal kindergarten teacher. It reminds the student that, hey, learning takes effort, you gotta try, but that effort leads to a triumph. It fosters resilience and a growth mindset exactly when they need it most.
Finally, Section 6, Growing into Great Leaders, the Impact.
When a kid wraps up this lesson, just look at what they've actually accomplished. It is impressive. They've mastered visual recognition of the letter T. They understand and can vocalize the T sound. They've learned a whole new set of vocabulary words, from animals to abstract concepts. They've practiced reading sentences in context, and they've successfully tackled their writing practice. This really shows how comprehensive the Crimson Grove curriculum is. It's systematically designed to build capable, confident readers.
So the crucial point is captured perfectly by this final, powerful mantra. Thoughtful thinkers grow into great leaders. This brings the whole dual-track narrative right together. It explicitly ties the act of being a thoughtful learner, working on your phonics, building your vocabulary, practicing reading, to the ultimate goal of strong character development. By asking questions and working together, these kids aren't just memorizing the alphabet. They are genuinely taking their first steps toward leadership.
Which leaves all of us with a question to chew on, whether you're an educator, a parent, or just someone fascinated by how we learn. After seeing how beautifully phonics and character can blend to create a true educational adventure, how will you inspire thoughtful thinkers today? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer, and keep turning your ideas into adventures.